Welcome to Rich Tribe. If you've ever wondered why two people can start from the exact same dead-end job, yet a decade later one is a self-made millionaire and the other is still drowning in debt, you absolutely need to stick around until the very end. We aren't talking about skipping your morning coffee or making some basic budget today. We are mastering the hidden, psychological, inner game of money.
Wait, so you're telling me it's not just about the math, it's literally a mindset?
It is entirely a mindset. It's the whole shebang. Your psychological blueprint dictates your financial destiny long before you even make your first investment. Okay, but let's be real here. If I won $1 million today, there is absolutely no way I would lose it all tomorrow. I mean, I'd invest it, I'd save it.
Well, you say that, but the harsh reality is a massive percentage of lottery winners end up completely broke within a few short years. It's not a math problem at all, it's an internal financial thermostat problem. Think about it. If your internal thermostat is set to handle $50,000 a year and you suddenly get hit with $1 million, your subconscious literally panics. It will find ways to self-sabotage, make terrible investments, or just squander the cash just to get you back to the financial temperature where you actually feel comfortable.
It really boils down to a stark contrast in foundational beliefs. Look, self-made millionaires operate on the unwavering belief that I create my life. They take 100% unfiltered responsibility for their financial outcomes. No excuses.
And the alternative?
The impoverished mindset, which is life happens to me, right? It's the classic victim mentality. It's blaming the economy, complaining about the government, or justifying failure by pretending money isn't really that important anyway. But here is the brutal truth of wealth building. You can be a victim or you can be rich, but you absolutely cannot be both. Mentor Power Team actually has a brilliant analogy for this. Think of a person as a balloon and money as air. If you take a tiny, unstretched balloon and try to force a massive amount of air into it with, say, an industrial compressor, what happens?
Well, it completely blows up.
Exactly. It pops under the intense pressure. Your wealth can only grow to the extent that you do. If you force massive amounts of money into a mind that hasn't grown to handle the responsibility and the intense strategy of wealth, you're going to financially blow up and lose it all. Hang on, I really need to push back here for a second. Isn't this whole meritocracy thing kind of just a myth? I mean, The Guardian reported recently that the vast majority of billionaires today simply inherited their wealth. It really feels like the game is entirely rigged from the start. That's a completely fair objection. F. Scott Fitzgerald famously said, "Let me tell you about the very rich. They are different from you and me." He meant they lived in this totally isolated world of inheritance and privilege. And yeah, generational wealth absolutely exists. But recent, groundbreaking research from the British Psychological Society proves Fitzgerald was actually right for an entirely different reason. Self-made millionaires literally possess a fundamentally different psychological profile than both the average person and people who simply inherited their money. So the British Psychological Society data proves that true self-made wealth stems from specific, observable traits. These individuals are highly risk-tolerant, remarkably open to new experiences, and intensely conscientious.
Okay, but how does that actually look in the real world, like day to day?
It translates directly into intentional, daily habits. For instance, 81% of them meticulously use to-do lists to optimize their time. They avoid the trap of just being busy and focus purely on being productive. And 73% actively mentor others. They understand that wealth isn't just hoarding cash in a vault, it's a structural, disciplined way of operating in the world. Wow, hearing all this, is my mind literally keeping me poor?
The short answer, yes. Internal psychological barriers are the literal roadblocks preventing you from even starting your financial journey. It is rarely just a lack of capital that stops people. Usually, it is a lack of cognitive space, a lack of emotional regulation, and deep-seated mental constraints.
And look, this isn't just some abstract self-help theory. The American Economic Association has the hard data on this. They found that your affective state, your mood, acts as a massive mental gatekeeper, meaning my mood literally affects my money dramatically. Symptoms of depression literally block participation in the stock market by fostering this self-reinforcing cycle of inaction. Anxiety distorts your perception of risk, making even incredibly safe, calculated investments look absolutely terrifying. And pessimism? It halts action altogether by warping your external beliefs about future returns. If you're operating from a place of chronic worry, you are structurally blocking your own ability to build wealth.
I get that, but the stock market is terrifying. It's incredibly volatile. How do you actually get past that anxiety?
To win the inner game, You have to shift your focus away from your emotional anxiety and anchor yourself to the cold, unfeeling mathematical certainty of compounding. Once you clear those psychological roadblocks we just talked about, time becomes your absolute best investment ally. Compounding doesn't care if you're anxious. It is an unstoppable, exponential mathematical force that just works quietly in the background over decades.
Fiducian Advisors breaks this down perfectly with the 8-4-3 rule. This is literally the industry secret to leveraging math over emotion. Years 1 through 8 are all about laying the foundation. Your money grows, sure, but it feels agonizingly slow.
Right, and that's where most people quit, isn't it?
Exactly, because it's frustrating. But if you master your patience and just hold on, years 9 through 12 are where the pace dramatically picks up. Your past returns actually start generating their own returns. By years 13 to 15, you hit rapid, exponential expansion. The snowball turns into an absolute avalanche. But here is a critical warning straight from the trenches. To protect that beautiful compounding growth, you absolutely have to guard against the silent killers of wealth. $22,000.
Wait, what's that number?
That is exactly how much a tiny, seemingly harmless 0.5% difference in investment fees can steal from $1 million portfolio over just 10 years. A true millionaire mindset means you are just as fiercely protective of the money you keep as you are about the money you earn. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. A deep fear I have, and I know a lot of other people do too, is the dark side of all this. Does getting rich actually make you a bad person? Like, will achieving financial success inherently destroy my empathy?
It's a profound question, and we really have to look at the data honestly here. The Greater Good Science Center highlights a challenging reality. Statistically, poorer people actually do assist others more proportionately, while wealthy individuals can often fall into this Ayn Randian trap of putting self-interest first.
But why does that happen?
Because wealth can literally buy you out of everyday suffering. You live in safer neighborhoods, you get better health care, and you physically become isolated from the struggles of the less fortunate. But here is the ultimate secret to the inner game. You are aware of this trap right now. Because you know it exists, you can consciously choose to be both extraordinarily wealthy and fiercely compassionate. Empathy and wealth are only mutually exclusive if you allow them to be.
Now, before we get to our final point about the ultimate devastating regrets of the wealthy, I want to invite you into our community. Subscribe to Rich Tribe channel, like, comment, and share. Mastering your financial inner game is a lifelong pursuit, and being part of this tribe means you never have to navigate this journey alone. So, once you've won the inner game and actually built the wealth, you must heed these ultimate warnings from financial experts like Mel Abraham and Financial Mentor. I've literally seen guys lose everything because they made these devastating millionaire mistakes. First, never sell your cash cow business just to live off the principal. That is basically slaughtering your primary income stream for a few pounds of hamburger.
Yikes. What's the other major trap?
Hoarding wealth at the expense of your health and your relationships. A joyless journey focused purely on the end goal leaves you financially rich for sure, but completely, utterly spiritually bankrupt. Which brings us to the most provocative question of this entire journey. Are you building a fortune or are you building a prison? True wealth isn't just about a bigger bank account. It's about redefining retirement and ensuring that your internal wealth blueprint is creating absolute, holistic freedom. So master your inner game today and make sure you are designing a life that you actually want to live in. Thank you for diving deep with us today on Rich Tribe, and keep building true wealth.